Hello, everyone. It's Sam and Fee, and we're back for another midweek musings. Which, yes,
Hello.
I am aware is not quite midweek anymore. It's more kind of end of week, end of year musings.
Yeah,
But obviously, with the Christmas period, it's been all go 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 for both of us. You had a good one.
I did, thank you. Yeah, it was very restful, which is what I wanted, definitely. Very reflective as well, which we'll be sort of talking about. But yeah, it just goes by though in a blur, doesn't it, really? Got all the build up and like frantic organizing and stuff, and then it's just yeah, we're on the other side. But how was yours?
Yeah, not restful.
No, well, children kind of.
Yeah, but it was very joyful, and
Mm,
I will take joyful over restful any day of the week.
yeah,
Yeah, it was really nice. It was really nice. We had a lot of fun times with family, and the kids were just they loved every second of it. And
yeah,
as a mum, that's all we want really. So
exactly.
yeah, no, it's been really good. It's been really good. But like you say, this weird in between phase. Christmas has gone, New Year's not quite here. It's
Mm,
that weird week where I do find myself being quite reflective about the year that's passed and everything
mm,
that's gone on, and sort of looking a little bit to the future. um and yeah, it's I think last week we did say, didn't we were going to go through and look back at some of the things that have happened this year. And
mm,
actually for both of us this week, it's been a case of actually, is there really any value in going back and looking at all the different laws that have been passed, our rights that have been trampled on, the distractions and theatre events
mm,
that have been playing out across this
yeah,
year. Is that really of any value? And I think both of us very much sort of came to the conclusion that actually what we want to take from this year is very much what we've learned, about
mm,
ourselves, about the world around us, and the lessons that we've learned, the strengths that we've gained, the knowledge that we've gained about our inner self, and how we want to use that to kind of move forward into the new year and that kind of thing, isn't it?
yes,
There was
100%.
did you want to do the Laura Bowley post? We posted it in the
Yes,
Telegram and Facebook groups, because for both of us, we both follow her. She does some wonderful posts.
yeah,
So if you're on Telegram, check her out. We can't put the link on Facebook because Facebook doesn't like it won't let you post a link at all. But if you just search for Laura Bowley, she does do some brilliant posts, which I do try and share because yeah, they're beautiful. But this one in particular really resonated with both of us, didn't it? Sort of very much
it
how we both
did. Yeah, it really
feel.
stood out because it's basically everything we've been saying the whole way along.
Yeah.
But it's just articulated in a way that I wish I could
Yes.
get
I
things
think that a
across
lot.
at times. But
Yeah.
so here it is. The evil powers that rule the world thrive in negative energy. They simply can't bear the frequencies of kindness, love, and joy. All the horrific events that take place are planned to lower everyone's frequencies by making us afraid, anxious, sad, and depressed. In this state, we are easier to control and manipulate. One of the trickiest parts in the process of awakening is to be able to recognize the negative forces without engaging them. One must become aware of them without giving them the power to drag you down. If they achieve that, then they win and you lose. Understand that no matter how awful things might be, your task is to become aware of them, reject them, share the knowledge, and continue to vibrate at the highest frequency you can. Our divine light is the only thing they can't extinguish. Make sure you don't allow them to even dim it down a little. If you are tired, rest. If you are overwhelmed, switch off. If you need to vent, call a like minded friend. Do whatever it takes to restore your energy and frequency because we need you. Together, we are a force much greater than you think. Soon the balance will tilt in our favour and the light will blind those that don't resonate to the symphony of the Creator. Keep going, we will get there. It's just, it says everything
It does. It does.
Everything that we have been talking about from day one.
And of
This
course, it's not something that's easy to do. The world does kind of drag you down. And there
it
are
does.
times when we all just sink. And that's inevitable. I think that's part of the human experience, isn't it? That is part of being human. Our emotions can be overwhelming, but I think it's what we should all be. That's what I
It
aspire to try and do anyway.
yeah. I've been I was thinking just over the last few days that it's so simple. The answer is so, so simple, but that does not make it easy at all. Simplicity and easiness often
They're
have
not the same thing, are they?
nothing
No.
to do with each other.
No.
It can sound really simplistic. You lift yourself into another frequency, and that's what literally changes everything. It shifts everything. It's how this place works, it's how it's set up, and it's why, yeah, the horrific events, all of these things are planned to keep us down. And it is bread and circus, it is distraction. And yeah, that just for both of us, it just really encapsulated everything. And
How
it
we
is
feel.
very much that you have got to stare this evil in the face and reject it, but you can't turn away from it and pretend it, la la la, don't want to go there, it doesn't exist, and blah. No, that's not, positive thinking, these things that people, they kind of throw at us as if, oh, how ridiculous. It's not that. It's you have to be in full recognition. When I keep talking about how we'll all be confronted, we all at some point have to deal with the fear within ourselves, with that, some people call it the shadow, whatever it is, these things that we don't want to bring out into the light. But we're in that situation where that's what the Great Awakening is, when the fear has no hold over you anymore. You are fearless because you have truly understood, realized and remembered what you are. And then it's a joke. They're a joke. It's done. It's finished. There's no authority outside of yourself. There's no need for somebody to tell you what you need to do, how to feel, what
And I
it
think it's something you can find and lose and gain and lose. I
it's a
started off
process.
this year, the first half of this year, I found myself, it very much in a very kind of high frequency place. I felt very empowered. I felt, a lot of kind of enthusiasm and positivity in spite of, the way the year kicked off and we
Mm,
still had all the nonsense going on,
mm,
and everything that's happened. And I did find towards the end of this year, I've been in a much darker place, and I have felt, very overwhelmed. And there is, this sort of dichotomy. I've been at both ends of the spectrum this year,
same.
but there is that. There's no light without dark. You can't appreciate the good without bad. And I posted this morning about, taking the lessons and acknowledging where you've been. I'm sure there's not a person watching that hasn't experienced at least a moment of that crushing
Mm,
kind of like of what's going on and what could happen, and all the negativity that kind of comes when you do stare into the darkness. And but I think acknowledging that actually, all those days that you thought you couldn't get through, you did, and you're still
yeah,
here and you're still
yeah.
doing it. And I think, for most of us, despite the fact that, you can see what's planned and all of this, I think, for most of us, there is a sense of positivity about what could be achieved, what we could do if we all kind of took personal responsibility, if we all kind of really went on this journey and really kind of stepped into our power and really kind of shone you know, as brightly as we possibly could, you know, that actually there is a lot of potential for things to become a lot better than they have been in decades. But yeah, as I say, you know, it does kind of take all of us to kind of do that within ourselves and reach that place where, you know, we're empowered and we're working from that, you know, our heart center and our kind of, you know, more positive and kind of, yeah, my words aren't coming out very well.
Oh,
You were
don't
saying you felt the
even.
same this morning as well. It's just
I don't know what what I can blame it on anymore. You know, the full
I'm
moon's
gonna
always
blame
been
Christmas and
my,
that weird.
yeah, it's been
It's
my
been busy.
go-to.
I'm
And it's like,
tired.
yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. So it's very useful to have people posting beautiful things like this. Actually, it's easier to write these things out than to speak them a lot of the time.
I'm
But
much better at writing than I am
yeah,
talking.
me too. Um, but yeah, it's a shift in consciousness, and no one will escape it, because you know, we're these seemingly individual consciousnesses, but actually, of course, it's there's only the one, and nobody can be left behind. It might seem, you know, under the illusion of time and space, that that does happen, um, but actually, no, it's that, I don't know if it's ascension, whatever it is, this change of frequency. Um, and so when you're, whatever it is you're doing, whether it's, you know, you're out in your community and you're very activist kind of minded, and things like that, the impact will come from the intention behind it. It's always energy that people are picking up on. And so it's not about huge numbers being necessary for anything to succeed. It's that the numbers come when they're drawn to the energy behind something. So if you're fully aligned and you're doing what's right, you're doing what you're drawn to, um, you're doing, yeah, what you feel fulfilled by. You're not coming from that panic, the fear, my God, we've got to do something. That just actually pushes people away. And so when we, you know, we talk a lot about it's quality, not quantity, which has always been the case from the beginning. And people worrying, oh, there's so many stands that aren't running anymore. And it's just a reflection of where we're at, of where people are at,
And
and
we
what
have seen
resonates.
you know, this year that there have been a few drop off. We have
Of
seen numbers
course.
kind of dwindle, and I think, you know, we both sort of said, you know, when we come out of this phase where our lives are being heavily impacted and restricted, and it is, you know, it's right there in front of our faces, we're
Yeah.
being stopped from doing stuff. That is what seems to, you know, spur people into action. But
Mm.
as that falls away and the restrictions are not in your face, you know, for example, these, you know, 15-minute cities that are springing up all over the world, you know, they're not in your, they're not happening right now.
Mm.
They're talking about doing it in sort of 2023, 2024. And, you know, most people don't seem to be very aware of it, but thankfully there are quite a few that do know
Mhm.
and can see where this is going, and are trying to kind of raise awareness. But I think, again, it is going to be a case of most people don't feel that motivation to really be out there standing or being active in kind of, you know, a visible way, until it is directly impacting your everyday life. So, you know, it was kind of expected.
Yeah, completely. Again, from day one, said it as well. It will be, yeah, this could all stop now. Absolutely. It could be over tomorrow if everyone just said no and could see what this was leading to. But no, we have to get very, very far down the road. I've said it before, our capacity for suffering is huge. The stuff that we normalize, that we take, it's a blessing and a curse, because it means we're tremendously adaptable. We're bloody hardcore, really, when you look at the shit that we can tolerate in that sense. But on the flip side, it does mean that we will put up and shut up for a very, very long time before it gets to the point where no more.
That said, though, we it has kind of sorted the wheat from the chaff, in a sense, in
Yes,
that, there are
absolutely.
still a lot of really, really just beautiful stands
Oh
that
yeah,
kind of grasp the concept, that still meet every week without fail.
yeah,
I mean, we saw so many groups meeting on Christmas morning, at 10
yeah.
o'clock
It's
on Christmas
wonderful.
morning. There were stands still standing.
Mm.
um and there are so many that are so active, that are out there in the community doing so much, to kind of raise awareness, to reach out to others. And it is incredible to see. And we say there's the words goes. But and I know towards the tail end of this year, we've actually had, quite a kind of, the interest seems to have stepped up a little bit again.
Yeah,
Whether it is this kind of acknowledgement that actually things are moving quite quickly and there are things coming in, that people are worried about, that is bringing people in, I don't know.
but it's
But yeah, with
also, sorry, the stands are and always have been multifunctional, and they're also autonomous groups. It's up to each gathering of people. We just facilitate. We've never had a long list of rules and this is what you should be doing. We'd certainly, share the information. This is what people can get involved with if you want to be physically doing things. But just as important is the coming together of people, the bonds, the support, that network, having like-minded people. That's been the lifesaver, and I'm not saying that in a flippant way either. It has literally saved people's lives, and it's not been the getting out there handing out flyers and things, as much as absolutely go for it. That's not what's been the glue that's kind of stuck somebody back together again. It's been that coming together of people, and that was always my primary focus when I got involved, got this going in the UK. It was get the people together. That's the thing. And then things will evolve, they'll grow, it will be different for everyone. I'm certainly not going to dictate a vision for how things should go. That's been a very definite thing, because what I certainly do not think we need more of is this top down, follow me, I've got all the ideas. We've seen that so much within the freedom movement, whatever you want to call it, and it doesn't work. It's the old system. I have absolute faith that people will, it's within us. We get together and the creativity happens. We absolutely try and inspire as much as we can with like sharing what people are doing, and but it's about people coming together and that reconnecting, because that's
yes,
how they've managed all this, isn't it? We've been so
we're all very
disconnected.
disconnected from
Yeah, and they
ourselves, from each other, from
from
the world we live in.
community. Yeah, we were chatting before, as always, and I was saying about 100 years ago, to try and pull something like this off, not a hope, because everyone knew each other.
Mm.
Your neighbours were like your extended family. Everyone was auntie or uncle so and so, no blood relative. We lived completely differently. This has been an absolutely orchestrated dismantling of society. And so, of course, we're going to see it reflected out there. And it is very much sorting the wheat from the chaff, as you say. And that's not to be, you know, dismissive of people that have drifted away. But there is this element of the stands are, or whatever you want them to be. They're whatever you need them to be. And go on.
Yeah, I was just, you know, for me, they are a starting point for pretty much everything. And I think, you know,
Springboard
they
and a
are.
hub.
And through our group, you know, we have made a family. There are loads of us, and not everyone comes every Sunday, but you know, most people come, you know, at least once every few weeks to kind of keep in touch. We've got a really thriving kind of outreach group where the people that have come to the stand and kind of want to get involved in the activist side of stuff, you know, kind of come together, share ideas, get things going. And, you know, we've done a lot. And it without us all coming together through the stand, all of us that kind of want to get out there and do things, we might not have met, but I mean, we probably wouldn't have met. And so it has, you know, and we are a massive family. And God, I can't say how much I'm looking forward to seeing them on Sunday.
Yeah, same. It's there's a lot of there's a kind of propensity to point the finger and say, oh wow, it's, you know, this hasn't worked, that hasn't worked, as if it's outside of ourselves. And it's, you know, anything that we do is always a framework. Anything that we're trying to achieve within the movement, you know, which makes it sound like it's this one lump, you know, this bit, but of course it's not. But it's the individuals that make out, and I think that's where we're at within consciousness at the moment. And this is where we're going to see it's the friction, and this is when people will start to understand, and when things change, is how much control lies within us, each individual, and how it's our responsibility. And if you're constantly looking to others to tell you what you need to be doing, you're not that, you're still looking for that authority, and that awakening, whatever, it's not happening yet. Because it is people literally remembering. I'm going to read this other post from another Laura Aboli. Is that how you pronounce it? I'm never sure. It looks like
I
it
don't
is.
know.
And she's put, you know, there's a meme there which says, you are more powerful than you know, and they fear the day you discover it, which is something I've shared a few times. And she says, somewhere along the line, we forgot who we are, what we are made of, and why we are here. How can we lead happy, fulfilled lives if we don't know who we are? How can anyone expect to achieve joy, contentment, or peace when we have turned our backs to the source of those feelings, whilst we search for them in all the wrong places? Outside. In our desperate need to fit into a society fed on facts and science, a world of political correctness, civic compliance, and thoughtless acquiescence to a system that makes no sense, we are completely out of touch with our truth, and those of us that can see it are called insane. But us insane people have figured out that everything lies within, that God gave us an immense power that we cannot even imagine, but that we are beginning to sense. This is what they fear the most. This is when the Great Awakening defeats the Great Reset in an instant. Boom. There it is.
It is a mic drop moment. Just
Bing. That's it. That is it. So this constant looking outside, people need to be telling us what to. No, you're going to be in the same trap forever. Maybe you'll get a new benevolent leader for a while until the whole thing starts again. There's the decline, that it's this constant balance. And this is what I've been really reflecting on and struggling with a bit, is how to, yeah, be sharing information that's very much bread and circus. It is basically, anything out there is bread and circus, good or bad. It's a reflection. It's all distraction from the real reality. But here we are. So how to balance that for me personally with this absolute knowing that the revolution that's coming and what this is all about is completely spiritual in nature. And that doesn't mean that this is spiritual and out there's not. There's nothing that isn't, if that makes sense. Again, it's very difficult to articulate. Maybe I can write something and it will come across as making sense. But it's like Laura says as well, it's the recognition of it, seeing it, not turning away, and that denial, that refuting of it, which is not going, la la la, I'm going to pretend it's not happening. It's just not in my reality. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to transmute the fear. I'm going to get in alignment, and it can look a multitude of different ways for different people. They might be going up and talking to people in the street. That's their impulse. That's what they're being guided to do. There's a divine inspiration in it. And that's what spreads. That's what does inspire, because it's completely in tune,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. It can be anything. It can be anything. It's as an individual as each individual. But it's all coming from within, and that's what the empowerment is. And that is when the great reset. I mean, the only reason this has got any traction at all is because of fear.
Yeah.
The entire thing is run on fear. If you had no fear, you'd laugh in the they wouldn't even exist. Because they couldn't, you're not in the same frequency. You're like, what? The idea of anybody telling you what to do, you can't do this, you can't. I tell you what, someone's standing in their power, they're impenetrable, they're invisible. They go about their
And I think that
business.
is it, what it comes down to is stepping out of fear, stepping into your power, and taking personal responsibility.
Very, very simple, not easy.
Yes, I think there's inspiration all around us, and as you said, it's something that we try and share, sort of inspiration to help. It flashes that with our community matters, we're
Yeah,
trying to kind of share the things that are happening that people can get involved in if they felt called to do so, and sharing what's so. I mean, when you look around, if you look in the right places, there is so much phenomenal stuff happening.
yeah,
So many people that are in their power, that are really, out there making a difference. And it doesn't have to be a huge, life-changing, massive difference, but everyone is making a small difference in everything they do. And I think it's very different to kind of look around and find inspiration, and kind of see what calls you, what resonates with you, what kind of pulls you, what do I feel called to do, to actually looking for someone to lead you, to say, right, here is what you need to do next.
yeah,
And that does seem to be where a lot of people are kind of divided into two camps. There's those that are sitting there looking for someone to say, right, we're going to do this, this is what you've got to do. And then there's those people that are going, right, okay, what am I going to do? And they look within, and they look for inspiration from other people, and then they go out there and they do it. And as I say, it doesn't have to be the activism, it doesn't have to be anything, kind of specific, but what you feel called to do. And I think that's kind of where we're sitting at the moment. We are planning, aren't we, for the new year. We're going to do another kind of series, which we think we're talking the title of Activism Matters. There's a kind of continuation on from the Community Matters, where we were sharing the community projects of all the things that are springing up. And we're going to be talking to some people this time that are sort of out there doing the kind of activism type stuff, and projects that if you feel called to do so, that you can get involved in, because as we've discussed, it's sort of coming as a rate of knots. I personally do feel called to be more active, and do a lot more things, and I'm sort of looking forward to chatting to all these people, because I find they do whip me up a bit more and give me that to kind of really get out there and do it. But
exactly.
I think it is at the end of this year a time to kind of reflect on what you've learned, what you've been through, where you are now, and how you're going to use that to kind of move forward where you want to move forward to. It doesn't, I'm not talking New Year's resolutions, they don't work. We all know that. We all make them, and then a few weeks later they're just gone. Just where do you want to take yourself in 2023?
And actually, I think just look at where you are. Stop with the distractions and all the frenetic stuff. Just stop, because it's the disconnection, totally disconnected from ourselves, and it creates this paralysis where you can't do anything even if you want to, because it's just pure confusion. And
I've been there the last few months.
Absolutely. And I think it's normal, to be honest, in all of this. And it can be a catalyst, actually. I've been totally confused. Like the last couple of weeks, it's all been, but then when I quieten down and it simplifies, you're sort of paring things down, and it becomes clear that, and generally, with me, it's always fear at the root. It's always what is, when you're feeling that stress and you want to do something, but where's that coming from? Actually, the need to check. It's not actually out there that needs changing. It's in here, and then out there changes. If you look in the mirror and you see like there's a smudge on your foot, do you wipe the mirror? No. And this is what when we talk about taking responsibility and all of those things, it all the change happens within, and that's what becomes the change out there. My battery's I'm just gonna plug in. Carry on.
Just carry on. Filler. Yes. I'm now in this weird place of having to come up with something to say, and I don't know what to say. Quick, Fee, come back. I'm not doing very well at feeling.
That's it. I don't want it cutting out like last time.
I am in complete kind of brain fart mode. It's been a really busy couple of weeks, and I am just, my brain's just fried at the minute, I think.
Yeah, so I had best laid plans. I'm just going to be completely unplugged and relaxed, and don't get me wrong, it has been relaxing, but my mind has just been whirling. And I think it is about looking at how I go into the new year, what's changed, what's sort of reframing things and the focus, and it's the constant coming back to myself, because that's what's creating my reality, that's what's creating my perception of how things are. Two people looking at the same so-called reality, totally different. It's all subjective. We choose. That's the thing. It's got to keep coming back to that power within us. And they do not want us to. The thing is, you can watch all the bread and circus and know it's bread and circus, and therefore keep this kind of separation where it doesn't drag you down and you recognize what's going on. Like, you don't have to go off and live in a cave and be completely isolated from out there, you know, and just be meditating. And there are balances. There will be those people that's 100% what they're meant to be doing and it's right for them. And there will be the people that are absolutely focused on changing things out there, but to do it from that, yeah, just that place of fearlessness. Because any time we're living life from a place of fear, they're winning. So that's kind of it, really. I'm so sorry. I really am just. It does make me wonder about what they're beaming at us all the time. You know, like, my memory's so bad.
No, mine is terrible as well. I am, yeah, absolutely terrible. But
Yeah, I really,
I do think as well, it has been a really busy couple of weeks. I am just absolutely
yeah,
shattered. I think
yeah,
my brain's just going so, yeah, next couple of days, just sleep.
yeah. I think I'm definitely gonna just. We've got a couple more days. Well, one more. Well, yeah, today and tomorrow, and then it's, my God, another year.
Another
And
year over, another one just beginning. So much to look forward to.
there is, and it's all in your. You know, we choose our attitude and our approach, and whatever you look for, you're gonna find. It will be served up to you. Whatever you look for, it will be brought into your experience. So choose wisely what you focus on. And yeah, that's my 10.
On that note, shall we just
I think we
end with
better.
wishing everybody a very happy 2023?
Yeah,
I'd also like to personally thank each and every single person who has supported us, supported
yeah.
a stand in the park, left lovely comments. Like, I honestly, we've had some really nice ones recently, and I honestly, I cannot tell you how much they actually mean to us. Like,
Oh,
they really do. I'd sit there and
yeah.
it can make my whole day.
Oh,
So thank you
absolutely.
to
Yeah,
everyone who, yeah, has supported us and supported the stand in the park, who has stood, who has resisted and defied and not complied. To everyone who's out there trying to make a difference, you're really special people, and yeah, I am really grateful to you all.
yeah. Same.
Yes,
Yes,
new
and
year coming, stand
new
together,
energy. Let's just continue to
make it.
inspire and empower as much as we can, and yeah, bring it on. So lots of love.
Yes, big love
We
to
will
everybody.
see you next year. Take care.
Bye.